There's a nationwide 2-year program for high school students. It's called ProStart, and it helps them become tomorrow's leader in the food service and restaurant industry. So we're going to learn how that program is working right here in Missouri. I'm joined by Leone Herring, who is the coordinator for the Missouri ProStart program. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you.
You know, the restaurant industry, the food industry, we were talking about this off camera before, has just continues to grow and grow and grow. And I think it's fascinating that this is a program that is starting at a high school level to really introduce young people into this industry. So first, start us off. I just had that brief description, but what is the ProStart program?
ProStart was developed by the National Restaurant Association. It's a 2-year program, as you mentioned, in Career Technical Education, or CTE, where high school students learn from a competency-based curriculum that teaches culinary and restaurant management skills. It couples with a real-life restaurant experience, which is the really nice part of the program, because students not only get practice in the classroom of learning the skills, but also must do some time in the restaurant industry. So the students are in a 2-year program, a level 1 and a level 2, and must accrue 400 mentored hours in the industry as well in order to complete the program. And those mentored hours can be from a variety of experiences. It does not mean all work for pay. It can be volunteering, it can be working with fairs and festivals, with their local church, as long as it is food or restaurant management associated. So it works really well for them. Even students who, because of their high school schedules, because they're bound for a different career, but they're interested in culinary and restaurant management, those students can be in ProStart also. At the end of level 1, there is a national assessment, and at the end of level 2, another assessment. They could take level 1, pass the national assessment, and receive a certificate of completion, and the same thing with level 2. So even those students who don't go through the full program to get both levels in the 400 hours have an opportunity to have an experience in the industry.
In the industry, really interesting. So when did this actually start? Because this is the first, in preparation for this that I was learning about it, but when did this program start?
In Missouri, it started in 2001.
Okay.
So it's been here for about 24 years. It started as a partnership between the Missouri Restaurant Association and the Family Consumer Science and Human Services Division at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which was a wonderful partnership which gave our teachers, who are family consumer science certified educators, opportunities beyond just teaching ProStart for a variety of grants and other avenues to obtain resources to support the program. So that was a wonderful thing that happened all of those years ago that's been very sustainable for the program.
I was going to say, so the outcomes of the program, you were telling me off camera that, some of the students, so you start, this is high school program, but what is the outcome? People then go on to either college level or work directly in the industry? Or it ranges, it sounds like.
Well, we started the program in Missouri, my predecessor did, because the hospitality industry is one of the largest revenue generating industry in the world, let alone Missouri. It usually falls right behind agriculture in its total revenue, and it continually needs new employees. So the program was developed to help prepare individuals at the high school level to go into the industry. Our ultimate goal in Missouri with the program is that we are providing skill development and experience opportunities for these young students to become the next generation of restaurateurs. So there's a great deal of excitement in those classrooms when those students get their first chef's coats and they begin learning the skills that they need to move into the industry. The program integrates practical skills. It allows students to become familiar with restaurant and food service. It exposes these students to a wide variety of careers that are associated with the food and restaurant industry, all the way from designing restaurants, designing uniforms, recipe design, and food packaging, food warehousing, a huge variety of opportunities for careers in the industry. In Missouri, the ProStart program is one of the top 5 in the United States. We have been number 3, I think we still are. We have 103 schools in 86 school districts. Wow. And 4 departments of corrections that participate in ProStart. So that's a rather large number, a healthy group there.
That's right. And when you say one of the top 5, you're talking about just completing the program and going through the program and the rankings. How does that?
In the number of students involved.
Number of students.
Out of 50 states.
Wow.
So this year, in 2025, we had approximately 6,000 students enrolled in those 103 schools. 26%, almost 27% of those students are currently working in the industry while they are experiencing the classroom side of the program. Another piece of the industry is for students to be well educated in food safety and sanitation. And over 46% of those schools, those classrooms, are providing ServSafe certification for the students, which is another industry standard certification to work in the industry. So we hope we're giving students a well-grounded base to be viable employees while they're in high school, and then hopefully to go on into the industry.
I mean, it sounds like it. I mean, everything that you've named off in the data, I mean, it's really interesting. We were talking off camera prior to this, just how over the decades, like how the industry has changed so much. And you brought up a good analogy saying, you know, many decades ago, people thought of this as an industry, and you can have you elaborate it as something that you might go into for part-time work. And then we started seeing all these entrepreneurs and these chefs. And I mean, this whole remake, you know, some 20 years ago, but talk a bit more about the overall sort of shift and why this is in such demand.
Well, I think both when you and I were younger, to work in the industry was a job. It was a low-paying, very, very hard-working job. But about 10, maybe 15 years ago, there was a shift, and it became more recognizable as a true profession. Higher education began to offer degree programs all the way up to doctoral degrees in restaurant management and culinary development, and we saw a shift in the overall acceptance of the profession. Also a huge change in the level of income that could be available to individuals who do well in the industry. So just in our lifetime, we've seen it move from a job to truly a profession with many, many opportunities and tremendous opportunities for income growth.
Yeah, it's really, no, I think it's really fascinating. I think about now there's so many, you know, these like rock star chefs, or you want to know how the management side even, like we really note the GMs of a restaurant, how they're doing it, how their secret formula, secret sauce. So it's so interesting that this program starts at such an early age. Was there anything unique before we wrap things up to even the St. Louis area that you wanted to talk about in terms of the number of programs, or for how, I imagine there's a whole process for schools to reach out to you to get involved, but anything you want to share along that line, along those lines?
We have about 25 schools in the St. Louis area that have ProStart programs. The ProStart program within a school district first must be approved by the Department of Education, Family Consumer Science, and that's a one-time approval. Then annually, they have to sign an assurances agreement with the Missouri Restaurant Association, and then each fall there's a survey from the National Restaurant Association. Those two things are annual requirements to remain an approved program. So students who would be in the program then have an opportunity to not only get scholarships, but also to receive a certificate of achievement, which requires them completing level 1 and level 2 and final assessments, accruing the 400 hours. If they receive the certificate of achievement, then it opens other doors for admittance into culinary schools and also for scholarships. So that would be the ultimate goal for students who are really interested in going into the industry. And of the 6,000 students that we currently have enrolled, there'll be about a third of them that will end up getting the COA. The others, however, as I mentioned earlier, a large percentage are already working in the industry and will go straight into the industry or to 2 or 4 year institutions.
This has been so informative, really interesting. We want to make sure that in addition to people watching this interview, that you can go to the website to learn more about what Leone's been talking about today. It's the Missouri ProStart program, National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. That's the website right there, chooserestaurants.org/programs/ProStart. That has a lot of the details that we've talked about today, but really interesting. And congratulations for Missouri on the success. You're a part of that as well, so congratulations on that, as well as all the students and professionals. So that's great.
Well, we have a wonderful group of well-educated educators that meet with the students every day to teach them these skills. So we're very fortunate. We have about 130 educators statewide, all the way from tiny schools that may graduate 6 or 7 students to our larger metropolitan schools.
That's
so
great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep up the good work, and thanks for sharing with us. And thank you at home for watching. Please keep it here on STL TV. We're going to put up our social handles for you to follow us, continue to follow us if you already do, but to check out our platforms if you don't follow us, please do. Also visit our website, stltv.net, where you can see all of our programming, and keep it right here on STL TV Experience St. Louis.